Good afternoon, everyone. Dear. Hi, I'm Flintworth, and I'm awfully late. Apologies for that. I got a little bit carried away earlier working on. Let me put that bit up there. See over my head. Is that better? Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, hi. Thank you for your patience. I got a bit carried away working on some new set of models for my kits I use, or props, as it were, for all of the creature creator videos I do. And the little culprit today was me working on this tiny, adorable, precious little balloon dart throwing station. And yeah, all those little tiny little things inside there took a bit longer than I expected to make this little tiny model carnival game. But regardless, hi. Is your first time checking out this show at all? This is the Warrior Workshop, the show where I like to go and work with you all at home, whether it's live or after the fact, because, so many people like to watch these recordings. I mean, this as a recording, you know what I mean. But this is the show where we go and take popular characters throughout media, whether it's video games, movies, you name it, and brainstorm ways to bring them to our favorite games like D&D, tabletop RPGs, and so forth. And today, by popular request, we are looking at the Dreamboat himself. Yes, I am confident enough in my in myself to not find to be myself anyway in saying that yes, the Dreamboat that is Leon S. Kennedy from the Resident Evil franchise. Leon Scott Kennedy. I should more properly say off his middle name, even though you rarely hear Leon Scott's typically Leon, or Leon if you're playing the original Resident Evil 4. If you've been tuned in at all to what my channel's been up to as of late, I've been playing through the Resident Evil remake with my lovely fiance Jade Brightwind, the artist and my best friend. We've been enjoying it, been loving it, and frankly, after going now, I think we've done 2 rounds of it, and the third one coming up this Thursday. I could not help but throw it out there to you all if I should go and cover Leon on this show. And he won. He's great. And I'm going to do the best I can today to not acknowledge too much one of my favorite memes that's come up this week. That is, for some reason, Twitter's been going nuts drawing Ashley as a mouse. And though I see some potential in making some kind of animal companion for our Leon build today, I promise to keep on topic. At least it's about the best I usually do, because if you've seen me before, you know I like to ramble. But seriously though, look at this precious little bean. Look at her. Look at Ashley as a cute little mousey. This is, by the way, is drawn by my lovely Jade. Wish you should go check out her Twitter, please. She's so cool. And I'm not saying that because I'm in love with her. It's just true. But look at that. Look at this adorable little poofy sweater and these adorable big ears. Oh, precious as hell. But no. To the task at hand. As cute as little Moushley, I think is what the fan has been calling her as of late, as cute as she can be, she is not the warrior, the hero. I can see so many, prospective players, even longtime vets, would like to, portray in recreating Leon, in D&D or anything like that. And before actually we get to the character building itself, I did want to take a quick time to just, talk about how, I would roleplay. Leon, because when you consider that he's been around in pop media since the 90s with the release of Resident Evil 2 for the PlayStation and eventually GameCube and a variety of other platforms. But Leon has been around for a while. And what's more is that there are so many, I guess you can say, iterations of him. There is the rookie cop for Resident Evil 2. There is the B-movie-esque special agent in 4. There is the hardened, once again, spy-like agent that you see in Resident Evil 6. And there's how he's been portrayed in the movies, whether it's the live action Welcome to Raccoon City that came out, I want to say in 2021. It was very recent. Which kind of played a more, a dopey little almost CW-esque Leon versus who I usually can't help but describe as the John Wick of Leon Kennedy's that you would see in the animated films, the CGI ones. Like, seriously, go and check out, if you haven't already, Resident Evil Vengeance, because Leon pulls off some moves with a motorcycle and a hand pistol against like a herd of zombies that, that the Baba Yaga, John Wick himself, would say, yeah, not too shabby. But out of all of those, like, I would not be surprised if most people out there would like to try to play the Special Agent, Leon Kennedy. And if that's the case, go for it. That's a good way to go about it. He's collected. He's, got that cool, kind of edgy demeanor, but he is not full of himself, I guess the best way I can put it, enough to be afraid of, cracking wise, cracking jokes, and dropping all the one-liners. He's almost like I can't believe I'm saying this, a sexier 80s action hero. You know what I mean? Because he has all those, wonderful tropes and stuff from the 80s action films like Rambo, or even like, a few of the Arnold Schwarzenegger's flicks. But to the point, go for that. That's the kind of thing you want to do. Just, make sure you acknowledge that cornball side. Personally, I would recommend starting your Leon build or just journey as the rookie cop, because one, that would fit more so, I guess, in line with what that kind of character would enter a campaign in, especially a long-term one. If it's a one-shot, by all means, go for the experienced badass. But if it's the start of a campaign, like if you're gonna bring in this fantasy Leon Kennedy into, let's say, Curse of Strahd campaign, that's like by far the easiest go to. Go with the rookie cop. Go with the option that allows you to kind of make mistakes, to play up the fact that as level 1 you really haven't done that many cool shit. It allows you to be awkward. It allows you to kind of like lean in slowly into getting that cool guy attitude that would help really bring, I'm not to say just your performance, but really just your play, your role play to life that much more. And what's even better, it gives you time to grow with the character. Because if you've seen the show before, I've talked about on many occasions how, you gotta be ready to deal with the fact that most times, like most characters you play in D&D may start off based on one thing, could very well, grow to be something else. And, once again, play the rookie cop allows you a chance to, come in right away with a nice, perfect Leon, and he'll grow, towards maybe the Leon you might be in later games, or to your little creation, or maybe some kind of amalgamation of the two. If you're, told to come in as a level 5 character or what have you, okay, yeah, in that case, definitely go with the secret agent kind of Kennedy and have fun. That all said, some things I would suggest looking into is, I mean, we do an accent with them. It's because he's kind of like the everyday, I hate to say it, white-breaded hero, but where he is, it's kind of playing on the surface. There is that kind of underlining little hints of a regret that you can try to bring out. There are those, like, he has seen some things to the point that anything disgusting and monstrous is just, yep, here we go again. It's almost like that. I don't want to say he's oblivious or dumb. It's more so he's been through the ringer so often, he's kind of tired. I guess that's it. Play your Leon, almost, if you're going to do it the veteran Leon, almost perpetually tired. If you're doing like the young, experienced one, the naive one, then you kind of have like more of like that paladin-esque mentality. At least the one you see joked upon all the time on Reddit or what have you, where yeah, you got to go and basically be like, this is the law, or I don't say law, that's more Judge Dredd. I guess play that rookie cop naivety up a lot, where like, be very lawful good to begin with, as you kind of like go through the story, go through the journey, and kind of become, I guess, more true good. I mean, it's kind of like, I would say, the end of Resident Evil 2, which we're going to base a lot of this, inspiration on, is kind of a mix between lawful good and chaotic good, but it's not really true good. Because, yeah, boy, yeah, he's kind of like a frumpy, tough teddy bear in some ways. But as far as like interacting with other, members of your team and all that, just think about how he interacts with Claire in the brief moments he does get to talk to her, with Ada, his love interest, where he does have a little bit of hope in moments of Resident Evil 2, even to an extent. Here's Resident Evil 4. I mean, it's, I don't see like he's not like hopeless. It's almost like, well, a game to him, which is ironic considering that he is a video game character. And later on, he's go further into the story, learn all the stuff that whatever your big bad villain is, intending to do. You get a little more fun, they had to pull up like the tough guy hero shtick you see, and frankly, both of the games, 2 and 4, they shows up in 6. 6, he is so much in John Wick territory that if you want to take inspiration from there, go for it, but only do that, when you're really later on in your campaign story, where your character very much be like, all right, we go out there, I'm gonna save the day, I'm gonna do what I can to put evil back in its place, but dear God, after it's done, I'm getting a nap or 2, maybe some pizza, because God damn it, I deserve it. But yeah, that's like the quick nitty gritty I would suggest as far as how to get into the zone of his personality, because by design, Leon very much is supposed to be kind of plain, kind of empty, to be more of a surrogate character for the player to kind of like feed their own personality into, especially into their gameplay, which we'll get to in a few more minutes. So yeah, to me, he's always kind of had that necessity to be kind of, I don't want to say hollow, but malleable to the player's actions, attitudes, and what have you. Because, man, does the games he show up in allow for so much, player, I don't want to say interference, but in shenanigans. That's what I'm going to go for. Player shenanigans to really kind of shape Leon's attitude towards the world. Like, case in point, thinking like in the original Resident Evil 4, how you can, look up Ashley's skirt, which, man, glad they don't have that anymore. Because, yes, I was a teen when I first played that game, and like, woo, yay, cute girl and all that. But come on, this day and age, we're gonna be a bit better about that, right? Right. But my point is, the fact that you could look up her skirt and they actually even reacted like, I called you a pervert, and I mean, that's the kind of shit that a player could do and kind of establish, even though it wasn't really kept in line with the rest of the story, the pre-rendered cutscenes. It does, in terms of the player's journey through Resident Evil 4, kind of establish that, hey, yeah, Leon could be a little bit pervy. And that's what I mean. Like in the current one, the remake, how Leon could, with just how he interacts with other characters, he could be, quick, straight to the point with trying to get Ashley back home and not worry about any of the side missions. Kind of setting up this attitude or story in terms of that player's campaign, that this is a no-nonsense Leon Kennedy versus one who could actually go and play the mini games, do the side quests. Because see, that's the thing. No matter even if it isn't acknowledged by their characters, like in a cutscene or in true story moments or main story, the whole journey of you playing through the game, how you play it, tells your story, establishes your type of Leon, which is why I can't get into too much nitty gritty on, just into just that's what I'm looking for here. Into I can't go into too many details, too many suggestions how to you roleplay Leon, because your Leon would be different than mine. See what I mean? Okay. But what of the character sheet? What of the actual builds you need to do for Leon? Right? Right. That's, the bread and butter of this bread and butter of this show, of this workshop. I should go to the workshop. Now, let me bring you over to my little stream playground, the Warrior Workshop on Roll20, who still have yet to reach out and say, hey, we'll sponsor you for how often you use this on your show. Or maybe one day. But no, I use Roll20 because most of my stuff is connected through here. It has a nice character mancer that I'll be using today. But if you don't let that stop you from using other virtual tabletop services, whether that be Foundry, D&D Beyond, or just going with your classic pen and paper or pencil and paper avenues. You know what I mean? I think you do. So. Let's take a look here. So, I need a different name. Leon Kennedy. Let's call our Leon Kennedy, because we can't just go strictly using the same name. Let's call him Leroy. Yeah. Kentucky. Yeah, there we go. That's just knockoffish enough to know who we're dealing with here. Yeah. It is very, saying, and I intend to do this in every one of these broadcasts. It is worth stating for the record that it's never, that's how to phrase this, that it's completely okay to go out and play as your favorite heroes or video game characters. Some of the best writers or stories out there are basically what-if scenarios of other older stories. There's no original ideas, is what I'm getting at, anymore. There is, however, unique takes on them. So, don't be afraid of that. And if you're worried about anyone giving you problems with building this character, my greatest piece of advice, and it goes for anything you ever want to do in any kind of tabletop game, is talk to your game master. That's another thing I need to make sure I repeat every single time we do these workshops. If you're worried about stepping on toes or, not getting something done, even if you're not, even if you're totally confident you're allowed to do the thing you want to do, still talk to your DM, talk to your game master, talk to your storyteller, your keeper of lore, or whatever. Because I can guarantee you, more often than not, you'll probably get to do what you want to do that much easier. And what's more, bringing your GM in on the process will allow them the chance to maybe start building things in their game to bring to life your reference, your recreation. Like maybe throwing you a few zombies your way, if you know what I mean. But character-wise, frankly, when I thought about this over the weekend, I completely envisioned the way to do this would be through going to the classic, human race, because yes, he is human, and I don't try to go with human too often, but it does give you a nice kind of roundabout stat spread that humans get, which, by the way, I'm using the rules from the current main Player's Handbook. I think there's come out with a newer edition relatively soon this year, which I hope to go and get and update my stuff. But otherwise, everything else I tend to use today, I'll try to make sure to announce where I got it from, but honestly, I'm hoping to make this character be done in a way where you don't have to go buy like 10,000 different books, because oh boy, it shouldn't be that expensive to play as Leon. But alignment, like I said before, I cannot help seeing, considering his background as a cop, to go with. You have to go with lawful good, in my opinion. And frankly, if you're worried about this kind of alignment's more so about like a suggestion than an actual hard rule nowadays anyway. But this does give you a nice, medium-sized build, speed of 30, which is perfect for Leon. He is he's pretty standard hero material, which I know is kind of vague to say, but in terms of like game design sort of intentions, it's nice to have a character that's such a clean slate to kind of like put a few little fun additions on there that help bring your fun to life. Let's see, language proficiencies, common, no, perfect. Frankly, anything else really up to your choice. We are talking about trying to build Leon in a fantasy setting. So this I actually would recommend talking to your DM beforehand, like, hey, what's going to be like the most common tongues, common languages? Because I would choose, that. Because in the games, Leon does appear to have some training education in other languages. And yeah, right, Reg? I hear all of this. I realize that Leon is really basic. He kind of is when you think about it. But what makes him, unbasic is like his actual combat. It's where he really kind of gets the spice up. Because you think about it, the guy, especially the remake now, can like fend off or counter freaking chainsaw blades with his knife, where he can go and drop kick. Not a drop, he can like suplex cultists. I mean, that's not really basic. That's insane. He is essentially like your most basic G.I. Joe figurine, but with one hell of a series of kung fu grips. Subrace, don't really need to worry about that. I'll go stand with a human. Also, hi, Reg. Thanks for joining in. Woo. But the good thing is, because, the guy is so basic, it does allow you to really build him off into the Leon you want to be. He's a good, like, springboard, as it were. Which is why, as main class, I was going to suggest Fighter. Okay, no misclick there. There we go, Fighter. Yeah, we're going to go with Fighter with a little bit of mixing of Monk to really kind of play up his uncanny dexterity you see in the later games and titles. But I think at his like heart, Kennedy with a metal chair, exactly, yeah. He's almost like a pro wrestler in some of his shenanigans. But as a fighter, I think it's kind of a good baseline because he is such a simple little boy when he first comes into a story. You don't really have any true advantages. He gains those over the course of his journey, where he starts to become more fleshed out. So, but proficiency-wise, I'm going to have to recommend athletics, because the guy can, even before he becomes a secret agent, can run for long distances without really getting winded, which I love that they play up more in the remake. But I think the other big thing would be survival, because that's probably the other thing I should say he does actually going for him, is that the guy has one hell of a survival streak. Yeah. There's no way around it. Maybe there's a little bit from, kind of some luck, considering that he does almost die in the second one before he gets, healed up by Ada. In fact, I think it's saved more by the other characters than most of the other Resident Evil heroes, come to think of it, are. I shouldn't say that, because I think everyone has a chance where they get caught by the bad guy and then saved at some point by an ally. I want to say save for Chris Redfield, unless you play Jill Valentine's story in Resident Evil 1. I'm getting distracted. Fighting style. Frankly, I was going to suggest kind of an archery sort of style, mainly because he does use firearms, other lunges and stuff all the time, and that does can be transitioned, or even like to use the phrase rebranded, reflavored is often the word I go for, into being like, oh yes, you can use the stats of a crossbow, but just label that down as like, I don't know, a flintlock pistol, that sort of thing. So don't feel bad that if you go with archery, think, oh, my Leon's gonna be like, well, Tomb Raider in the recent remake or series. No. You could go with archery, but just know you gotta talk with your DM. That's why I say go talk to them while you're building this. But yeah, go with archery. Because you get this you get a +2 bonus to attack rolls you make with ranged weapons. Note it says ranged weapons, so that includes any kind of possible firearms you might get in the course of your setting. You also get second wind, which is fantastic to really kind of take a lot of the damage. Because with Leon, he as a player character, not as a character, as a Leon, is how he performs in his games. He's often right in the thick of it, and my goodness gracious, how many times and during some of those encounters you've seen in all of his games, does he have to go and make a quick run for it or dig deep to get himself out of a situation? You know what I mean? I think you do. All right, equipment, will come back to that later. Ability score method, we're gonna go standard away because it's quicker and it's, well, I'm more of a fan of roll 4, drop the lowest methods, but for this is, I think, the best average. I can at least show you how I would build Leon up. Speaking of which, as a fighter, you get a whole slew of wonderful suggested abilities you should go with. But personally, especially if you're going to go with the ranged side of things, dexterity is going to be one of your more important skills because a lot of those weapons use dexterity, and frankly, considering how later on in his hero's journey, Leon is literally doing backflips and front flips and basically parkouring out of windows, yeah, dex needs to be up there. Constitution easily needs to be your second because the guy can take a beating. I mean, gosh, watching my playthrough thus far on Thursdays, how many pitchforks I've taken to the stomach. Yes, I know he's a video game character, but the point still remains that the guy can take a licking and keep on ticking. Let's see here. This is where things kind of loosey-goosey. I would practically put wisdom as by far as the lowest to kind of, especially if you're going with the Resident Evil 2 Leon, to kind of show that he may have gotten a lot of great education from the police academy, but he still needs to go and build up that street smarts, hence, lore wisdom. Intelligence will probably put at 10, leaving you to really your preference of whether you want your Leon to have more strength or charisma. Personally, considering the one-liners he does tend to drop, charisma, I think, is where I would, put as your third highest to really kind of, give you the points you need to really role play that with some of those persuasion checks or intimidation checks. You know what I mean? Leaving strength at 12, which isn't too shabby, all things considered. Okay, background. Well, I mean, this actually it really isn't that hard, all things considered now, because frankly, soldier, I think, from the player's handbook might be your best bet to getting close to his police education, or at least, if nothing else, for a special agent training later on. It does also give you some lovely other proficiencies, like biggest ones are athletics and intimidation. Knowing that, I think I put down acrobatics earlier. I'll probably go and give my this sheet both athletics and acrobatics, because that would really be in line to allowing you to pull off some of the nonsense in all the Resident Evil titles. But you also get proficiencies in land vehicles, so if your DM is kind of to give you cars or, I don't know, a jet ski if you want to recreate the end of 4, you'll be good with them, which would be perfect for Leon, especially in Vengeance. Like, seriously, watch that CGI film. It's insane. There's this whole chase sequence with him on a motorcycle that's just, yeah, that no human being should really be able to pay off, or pull off, I should say. But yeah, Leon does. So just land vehicles is perfect for him to have proficiency with. Let's see. the proficiency and what kind of games he plays, that's really up to you. For funsies, I probably would put down maybe the playing card set, because I don't know, it strikes me that is something Leon would do, play cards, maybe poker, because he does, he does gamble a lot. Okay, that's kind of a stretch. But military rank, this ability does essentially allow you to have some influence other people of rank, which, considering, once again, allows you to play up more of the special agent side of things. Maybe he works for the government of the game world you'd be playing in, so that will allow you to have something on paper to take advantage of in roleplay. Really useful skill to have. Specialty, let's see, there's a few of these. But does it have any details on what the specialties do? Okay, see, this is basically just the kind of military rank he's in. Frankly, in that case, officer. With how he's kind of risen up in the ranks to be essentially the guard dog to the president. Personality traits. This is really up to your taste if you're Leon, but I would suggest going for a lot of stuff that kind of play up, as I said before, that kind of like paladin side of things, where, he's always polite and respectful. Let's see, I guess you're down a hellhound without flinching. Yep, perfect. Ideal. Lay down his life for the greater good. I mean, this is almost writes itself. It's easy. Bond. Nope. I would still lay down my life for the people I served with. Maybe. Because you got to think with Bond. I mean, ideal is easy because that's kind of what you strive for. Bond is essentially the thing that makes you go and strive for things you normally would, because that's how to phrase this. As I always say, like, ideals is what encourages you to do the things you want to do. Bond is what encourages you to do the things you don't want to do. It's kind of like your code of conduct. And with Leon, yeah, it would be those who fight beside me are those worth dying for. He would, lay down his life for his allies, his friends. Flaw. Let's see. I would say out of all the things that it's flaws, at least for this list, pardon me, probably the closest to him would, and this is from the book, once again, you don't have to go with these, but if you do and you want to really think about it, probably going with one that he obeys the law, even if the law causes some misery. He is, he's a man to the job, and he's married to it in some ways. Okay, now equipment time. I'm gonna go with class equipment because we're not insane. It's just easier. Out of all of these, probably leather armor, because it allows you to kind of keep up your dexterity without weighing it down too much with chainmail. Weapons wise, which once again, don't be afraid to talk to your DM about changing this up to more fit with the stuff you see Leon use. But if not, if you have to go strictly, fantasy Leon, probably with one of the, like the longbow would be perfect for this, because, once again, long ranged. If you get your hand at it later, a crossbow would definitely fit the theme as well. Explorer pack, probably by far the best to give you certainly more things that Leon would have, like robe, just the ability to live on the lam, so to speak. Let's see. You should also be getting, your a variety of other things from your background, like, well, your insignia rank. So think of that as like your police badge, which is why I would go and theme that too. Trophy taken from a fallen enemy. I mean, take your pick of your favorite Resident Evil monster, and there you go, it's your trophy. Like, it almost writes itself, this kind of build, this kind of loadout for good old Leon. That's just like, oh yeah, go with that. It's this and that. This would be a pretty easy thing to go with, so I'm glad I'm covering it today. And last but not least, bone dice or deck of cards. Well, if he's good with cards, I'm going with deck of cards. But really, this is up to your choice, what you'd like to go with how you like to role play. And if you don't know how to role play, that's fine, because you got like the perfect character to get started with. I mean, like I said, He's like a wonderful self-insert. It's connected. That's not good. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, we're back. Hi, lost connection there for a hot second. That was not good. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, because we're at the duller parts of character creation. All the personal details, that is really up to you how you want to shape your Leon. In this case, I'd probably go with, like, he's in his, I think around his 20s when he joins the Fourths. Height, I think he's around 6 feet. I'm not gonna be looking this up. I guess I could look it up over here. Oh, he's actually, he's my height, 5'11". Yeah. Go with that then. But yeah, this is really all for your own personal flavors. I'll let you worry about that when you do get to build this for yourself. Weight, yes. Eyes, dreamy. Hair, moisturized. I can't spell it. What does it say conditioned? I can't spell conditioned. I am a good speller. Whatever. Skin. Well, white bread. And then perfect. Hopefully it builds it this time. Because last time I did Warrior Workshop, it didn't actually finish the character for me. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Leroy, Kentucky. Love it. Okay, Leroy. Let's check out just one shot with your bow, okay? Basic shot. Let's see how you roll. Okay, Come on. Roll that attack, please. 14 and 10. Okay, it's not bad. Not bad. Most turning monsters, have around a roughly AC of 8 or 10, so that would hit. Nice. Hey, EK, welcome. Fine. We're right in the heart of this stream. Let's see here. 7 points piercing damage with the longbow. That's not bad, but we can do better. So let's go and spice up this simple fighter Leroy to something a bit more closer to what we see in the remake. Now, if this is your first time watching me talk about character building, you should know that, to me, a character build doesn't really come into its own until around the 5th or so level. And with us looking to multi-class this fighter into be a fighter monk, this is why, because now you can see how this whole thing will come together. So first things first, put those at least 3 levels into fighter, which will net you quite a good few things like accent surge, martial versatility, extra increases, and let's see. If you don't have access to anything else, frankly, the Battle Master is a very solid martial archetype to go with when it comes to fighter, mainly because, let's see, let me read off some of the stuff there. Does it list the information for me? Here we go. Come on. Yeah, because the Battle Master allows you to have, gives you more superiority dice, which basically allows you to add dice to certain rolls. Maneuvers basically allows you to really control how you move around the battlefield, kind of playing up his military training. Does Leroy do roundhouse kicks? Oh, totally. That's why I want Monk in there. Let's see. Maneuvers. But how to explain this? Let's see here. Here are 3 maneuvers of your choice, which are detailed under maneuvers below. But let's see. Where's maneuvers here? Okay, here we go. But yeah, maneuvers are basically, almost think of them like the smites of the fighter class. So allows you to go and like disarm stuff, distracting strikes, allows you to kind of put more finesse into your blows with your weapons. And considering just how Leon, or in this case Leroy, would be, shooting weapons out of people's hands or stunning them in such a way to go in for a nice good old roundhouse kick, is you want that Battle Master finesse in there. But otherwise, if you have access to other books, maybe look into the archery, arcane archer, because there's like a bit more magic involved, which is kind of fun. But for our intents purposes, yeah, Battle Master would be by far the thing to go with for you here. Let's here get our multi-class in. So put level 3 for fighter, and we're gonna do monk at 2 levels there. Boop boop. Perfect. But this will then give you things like unarmed defense, martial arts, proficiencies in like free blows. Like basically, with this kind of like loadout, with the fighter side, allows you to go and do all of the long distance stuff, while the monk side allows you to kind of do those follow-up attacks like suplexing and roundhouse kicking and all that fun jazz. And as you go and level up this character, well, I do more insane stuff. Like, I want to say that monks have the ability, kind of like uncanny dodge that rogues have, where you could go and like dodge lasers in a laser hallway if you were this particular scene from 4. So, good stuff, good stuff. Let's go and choose some more of these things. All right. So once again, you have with Battle Master Fighter, you get things like action surge, which is something that allows you to essentially take an additional action on your turns, which allows you to get that nice, perfect extra blows in on your foes, which is, yeah, tried and true Leon Kennedy monster fighting, especially from Vengeance. Watch it. Seriously, watch Resident Evil Vengeance. It's not a great movie, but it's certainly a fun movie. I already talked about the combat superiority, which gives you things like, God, man, like the superiority dice, which I've seen so many of my players use to get the actual twist of a knife damage into some of their foes that you could use with like a Leon-esque character to go and get some nice killing blows on some of your enemies. But maneuver-wise, a whole bunch of them. Let's see. Yeah, there are so many to choose from. Personally, though, like I said before, disarming attack is kind of great considering how you use that to like disarm your foes, like Leon. That's like to me a given. First stop your item of your choice. It's holding. I want to say I looked at this before, but I don't remember it. I think I want to say a sweeping attack was the one I would suggest to kind of recreate the roundhouse kick. Let's see here. You hit a creature with a melee attack. You can expand it. Oh, you have to damage another creature. The same attack. Choose another creature within 5. Yep, this is it. Yeah. Sweeping attack is the roundhouse stand-in of this fighter build. EK. I gotta be honest, the world of Resident Evil would just be perfect RPG fodder. Umbrella going around the world, making different monsters. Well, these days, probably after I get done with the FNAF series, I would love to go and do Creature Creators and all the Resident Evil games, because, oh my god, that is my favorite horror game franchise. But last but not least, let's choose one last maneuver. Probably Quick Toss for that suplexing move. It's a bonus action. You can expend one superiority die and make a ranged attack with a weapon that has... Oh, never mind. That's not. I think I was thinking of something else. Let's see here. Where was it? I think it's Grappling Strike, I want to say. If you hit a creature, you may attack on your turn, and then try to grab the target's bonus action. Okay, cool. I suppose that could work, but nah. Yeah, I guess I got excited and thought it was Quick Toss would be it. That's what I get for not reading all the details. Let's see. Trip attack. Hit a creature with a weapon attack. It expand one superiority die to attempt to not target on. Yeah. Trip attack is probably where I'd go when I try to recreate the suplex attack from RE4. Student of War, you gain 3rd level, your proficiency with one type of arson tools of your choice. Okay, what would Leon do in his free time? Well, he is a spy, so I'd probably go with, like, the disguise kit as a quick cop-out. But hey, you know, you have to imagine he'd learn something as fancy special agent training, how to go incognito, even though he never really does it in the video games. I start with zombies in the alley, then fight hulking brutes in trench coats, and even fight mutant hillbillies and vampires, right? It's just, be wonderful. Wonderful. Just tabletop potential here. But on the monk side of things, this does give you more options for unarmored defense, so you can actually even take off your armor, the leather you had worn out before, to even beef up your AC, making you more of a force to contend with. The only problem is that it does take advantage of also using your wisdom modifier, which isn't so great right now, because it is one of our lowest stats. But, well, more on that in a second. But outside of that, which is why I wanted to bring this in, is that it does give you that little essence of, like, martial arts to add to your roleplay, to your fighting. So your Leon doesn't have to be always behind at long distance. It allows you to go into up close and personal to do some of those cool knife fights and stuff like that from the games. You get flurry of blows, which really, really handy if you are, you know, considering just the sheer number of, like, creatures and monsters you go up against in those hordes, because the thing is, a lot of these abilities all require the use of bonus actions to do. But the plus side is, because they are kind of split between two sets of abilities, it effectively allows you to have this nice large toolkit of crazy, almost over-the-top, John Wick-esque martial art badassery you can pull off in the heat of a combat, the thick of the combat. So, yeah. That's fun. Fun shit. You also get the advantage of using things like Ki, which you can use to make certain attacks a bit stronger, or use it for Fury of Blows, which is nice. You also get Patient Defense. Effectively, this is where I was kind of saying before, you can really increase your Kennedy's, or in this case, my Leroy Kentucky's, well, survivability. Because, man, the guy has the reflexes of someone from the Matrix in the games at times. And Patient Defense, Step of the Wind, this kind of stuff will allow you to play that up a bit more. Dedicated weapon. You train yourself to use a variety of weapons as monk weapons, not just simple melee weapons as short swords. Whenever you finish a short or long rest, you can touch one weapon, focus your Ki on it, and then count that weapon as a monk weapon until you use this feature again. Oh, okay. What does that really do then in the long run? Let's see. Dedicated weapon. Guess it comes at a later level. I thought it came with this one. Oh, I'll leave that to you to find out, to be surprised by later. But the big thing I love about all this is that using monks also increases your speed as well. So Leroy Kentucky is a great name, right? Such a great knockoff name. That's right. I didn't get to do my ability score increases yet. I think it comes at a later level. Let's build the character though. Okay, so armor class is currently 14. Let's take off the leather armor. Oop. There we go. And it doesn't, of course, automatically update it like I wanted it to. Of course not. Of course not. That's fine. That's fine. So it would be 10 plus wisdom, -1, so 9, plus dexterity of 3, 2. Okay. So maybe better to use, like, keep the armor on. But my point was going to be that the reason why it's kind of nice to have your Leon at a low wisdom at first is, especially as you go and do level up and do get the chance to raise ability stats, is that you can then reflect that in your character stats. You can reflect in your Leon's growth. Like, okay, he eventually learns how to become a better fighter, better hero, like he does in the video games. He goes from a naive cop to an experienced special agent badass. So it's kind of reflect that. I would be surprised later on to see this at the very least, around 11, to kind of make up for that lost time. And frankly, there's no saying that this would change based on special skills and abilities you may get from your DM, or even items. Especially items could come in handy here as well. But how would it roll? Let's find out. So we're gonna go once again with that longbow attack. 23 out of 22. That is definitely would probably hit a lot. So come on, see some damage. 7. All right. But I want to say you get. I think it's 2 attacks. Oh, I thought maybe I was wrong there. Regardless, get the first attack on. Cool. 7. You can then maybe use your bonus action to then go use Disarming Strike with that little bow attack. So Disarming attack with that. You add a superiority die to the attack's damage roll, and the target must take a strength check saving throw. So the superiority dice is, I think, a D8. So that'd be 7 plus. Come on. Can you roll, please? I have to do it myself. I think the superiority dice is just. Yeah, our D8s. So there's 1 D8. Okay, your foe has to go and survive a DC check of 8. Okay, that's not too exciting. All right, we'll say for more funsies, that was a 15. Okay, 15 is pretty hard for most level 5-esque baddies. So, oh gosh, they you shoot it. Use your superiority die. They oh gosh, lost my weapon. Frick. Cool. After that, you then go in for that second wind or action surge. Use your bonus action to go and do a second attack on them now that they are, disarmed. Really kind of ram it home. Boop. Get a. That's the wrong thing. I wanted this. Boop. Another 23. Awesome. Cool. 7. So 7 points of damage for the. Actually, no, let's see. This Disarming Strike would have the 8 on there too. It's been a while since I played a fighter, so I'm trying to do all the math in my head, and I'm not doing a great job of it. Get to attack to damage roll. Yeah. So the character already would have taken 15 for the disarming attack. Would have to then survive a 15-esque DC challenge to not lose their weapon. Then to get hit with an additional 7 points of damage for that'd be 22. Which I want to say, with action surge. Okay, let's finish a short long rest. Okay, so action surge is once during the day, but still, with action surge, you basically then go and use it again to get 2 free bonus actions. So technically I could have gone and used another bonus feature on top of my disarming attack. So I'll say for giggles sake that the second attack would be, you know what? I'm just going to go and do a flurry of blows on top of everything else. And say it hit anyway, because I'm going to see the damage more than anything. 5. Cool. Flurry of blows. And I'll go over again exactly everything I'm doing right now to make more sense. Yeah. Perfect. So, if you use all these things as I've been kind of mumbling over, trying to get everything out there, you attack once, a disarming strike with your bow and arrow, dealing 15. They have to see the weapons stays in the hand, and regardless, you then use your action surge to get a second attack in, to then go and get another shot into the poor bugger, dealing the 7 points of damage. Okay, 22, and on top of all that, you can then use your bonus action to do your 2 unarmed attacks with flurry of blows, which in this case, we'll say for the sake of time, would give you an additional 12 points of damage to the overall monstrosity you're building up. Basically meaning that on this one poor sucker, you've done at least 34 points of damage to that one bloke on one turn alone. Yeah. That doesn't seem like a whole lot, but at level 5, that can really add up if you continue to use your skills like that, linking different abilities and all that. And it will take some time to get used to. Like, hell, even me, off the cuff, had a hard time looking at it all. But given time, much like Leon learned how to survive out in the dangerous wild, you too can learn how to make a toolkit like this and use it to your advantage, because it will only get better from here. So, that all said, I think that's all I really had to say today. I wanted to kind of cut this one short, because I got other things I need to do, and I need to go finish clean up from model building earlier. So I have to finish this little sucker, believe it or not. My little tiny, cute balloon dart throwing pavilion. But do not forget that this Thursday, I'm going to be joined once again by Jade to go and play Resident Evil 4 Remake. I think we're finally going to be finishing the village portion of the game, which means we're beginning to the castle, which I'm so excited how they done that. And I think she doesn't have work the next day, so we could go for a bit longer. We'll see how we feel, because Thursdays are usually really long for us. But I'm excited for that. If you haven't watched it yet, the latest Creature Creator was posted last week. Yes, Sister Location is finally live. I have a guide for it. I'm kind of proud of it. Seems like a lot of people have been joining it as well. I'd suggest go checking that out. And if you haven't already, consider liking, subscribing, commenting on what you thought about this episode, or what you see in future episodes, or even give your own advice or thoughts on how to play as Leon. Because I didn't get to workshop that much today, and that's kind of a sad thing, but that's fine. It's fine. There'll be more workshops to go and talk more details. If you don't do any of that, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly okay, because no matter what, I think you're all kick-ass, amazing, beautiful people, and I love you either way. I'll catch you all later. Rag, if you're still there. EK, no, you are there. I'll see you when I do, and thanks again for tuning in. Flintworth out! Woo!